Welcome to the Grammar Zone. The exercise that we are going to do today consists majorly the past perfect tense and the past perfect continuous tense. But other tenses are also involved. Without further ado, let's look at the first question. Number 1. This is the word that we need to put in the blank. I wore my favorite striped tie to work yesterday. I ate to work a long time. Now you know the person yesterday, time in the past, this is now. So yesterday he wore his striped tie. But before that, he hadn't worn it for a long time. So we know he was referring to things that happened before he wore the tie to work yesterday. So for this, we have to use the past perfect tense. So answer is had, and the verb PP of wear is worn. So the answer is, I wore my favorite striped tie to work yesterday. I hadn't, negative, worn it to work in a long time, because he did wear his tie yesterday. But before that, he hadn't worn it to work in a long time. So we have to choose to use the negative form of the past perfect tense. Now, question number 2. Question number 2, the word that we have to put in the blank is fly. She never in a helicopter. Now, this sentence looks like the person is talking about her experience. So, from the past up till now, from the moment she was born up till now, she had never flown in a helicopter. So she's talking about her experience, so we have to use the present perfect tense. So she has never, the PP of fly is flown. She has never flown in a helicopter, talking about an experience and something that she hasn't finished up till now. Let's look at question number 3. The verb that we have to use is rain. It is raining outside for 2 days. So you can see the leading sentence is written in the present continuous tense, so which means it is still raining outside, it's still happening. So the timeline should be looking like this. So it is still raining right now, alright? And for 2 days, so it is still raining right now. So we know it's talking about something that happened in the past and is still true at the moment of speaking, so we have to use the present perfect tense. It has been raining. This is present perfect continuous. Of course, you can also choose to write in the present perfect tense, which is it has rained. They're both okay, but remember, we only use the present perfect continuous to talk about the duration of things. Alright? And the present perfect tense can be used to talk about 3 different scenarios. Number 1, duration. Number 2, experience. And number 3, the completion of things. Let's take a look at question number 4. Study is the verb. Jonathan was glad he did well on his astronomy exam. He fought it for days. Now we know he took his astronomy exam before it happened, so he was glad. So this is time when he was glad and he actually did well on his astronomy exam, so it happened. Now before that, before he took the exam, he had practiced or studied for the astronomy exam for a very long time. So before this, he had done something. So we know that for this, we have to use the past perfect tense. So the answer is, he had studied for it for days. Of course, you can also choose to write in the past perfect continuous. And the answer is, had been studying. Oh, sorry. Remember, when you add ing, you do not need to drop the ending y. So the answer of number 4 is, Jonathan was glad he did well on his astronomy exam. He had studied, or he had been studying for it for days. Let's take a look at question number 5. By the time Andrew got to the play, it already... Okay, so now we're looking at something happened in the past. So this is the timeline. This is now. And Andrew got to the play. This is when Andrew got to the play. But the play had already started. So the play started before Andrew got to the play. We know in order to talk about this, we have to use the past perfect tense. Means it happened. It had happened before Andrew got to the play. So past perfect tense, it had already. The PP of start is started. So by the time Andrew got to the play, it had already started. Question number 6. Speak is the verb that we have to use in a sentence. And let's look at the sentence. I had dinner with some Japanese friends last night. I enjoyed myself very much because I Japanese in a long time. Now let's draw the timeline. This is now, but it had the sentence, what happened in the sentence has nothing to do with now, because you can see that it's written in the past tense. So it happened before. It happened actually last night. So this is last night when the person had dinner with his friend. And he was glad because before this, he hadn't spoken Japanese for a long time, in a long time. So that's why he was glad last night, because he finally had the chance to practice the Japanese. So we know that we have to use the past perfect tense, and not only do we have to use the past perfect tense, we also have to write it in a negative form. So I hadn't spoken. Spoken is the past participle, verb past participle of speak. So I hadn't spoken Japanese in a long time. So the answer for number 6 is, I had dinner with some Japanese friends last night. I enjoyed myself very much because I hadn't spoken Japanese in a long time. And let's look at question number 7. Question number 7, we have to use a be verb. I'm sick today. I'm sick since I got up this morning. So you can see that the person is still sick. It is still true at the moment of speaking. So he's still sick, and since this morning he woke up till now, he still feels sick. So we have to use the present perfect tense. This is not past perfect, this is present perfect because it's still true at the moment of speaking. So I'm sick today. I have verb PP, verb PP of been. It's be is been, so I have been sick since I got up this morning. So the answer for number 7 is, I am sick today. I have been sick since I got up this morning. Question number 8. Question number 8, let's cross this out and change it to leave. Oh, that's better. Okay, by the time Jennifer's father got home from work, she already... Now we know it happened in the past because we can see it clearly that the verb is written in the past tense. So this is now, and it's not happening right now. It happened in the past. So Jennifer got home. Jennifer's father got home at this point of time. But before that, when he got home, he discovered something, that Jennifer had left the house before he got home. So we know that for this, it happened before this, we have to use the past perfect tense. So she had left already. Of course, you can also say she had already left, but since it's like this, you have to write had left already. So the answer for number A is, by the time Jennifer's father got home from work, she had left already. Let's take a look at question number 9. Work is the verb that we have to use in the sentence. So Marvin didn't get his promotion at work. He was heartbroken because he overtime for several months. Now, timeline again over here. Now, as you can see, it happened in the past as well. He didn't get his promotion, so his promotion was rejected by his boss perhaps, so he didn't get his promotion. He was heartbroken. He felt very, very bad because before this, he had worked very, very hard overtime for several months. So we know he's talking about something happened prior to the rejection of promotion. So for this, we have to use the past perfect tense, and of course, it's about duration, so you can also use the past perfect continuous. So he had, verb PP work, worked. Or you can choose to write in the past perfect continuous. He had been working for several months. So the answer of number 9 is Marvin didn't get his promotion at work. He was heartbroken because he had worked, or he had been working overtime for several months. Alright, let's look at the final question on page 1. Now we know the verb that we have to use is wear, and first of all, the tenses of wear are wear, wore, and worn. Alright, Tommy his old shoes today, he his new shoes tomorrow. This is not about present perfect tense, past perfect tense, or any perfect tenses. Something that we are wearing today, we have to use the present continuous tense. So Tommy is wearing, this is the answer, his old shoes today. So he's wearing his old shoes right now. And then his new shoes tomorrow. We can see the time marker at the end, tomorrow. It means, this is now. Tomorrow, this is tomorrow. He will wear his new shoes. So we have to use the future tense. He will wear, is probably a better answer. He will wear his new shoes tomorrow. Or you can say that he is going to wear his new shoes tomorrow. Alright, so the answer for number 10 is Tommy is wearing his old shoes today. He will wear his new shoes tomorrow, or he is going to wear his new shoes tomorrow. And this is the walkthrough of page number 1. This is the walkthrough of page number 2. Like the previous page, we're dealing with multiple tenses. Now let's look at question number 11. Leave is the word that we have to use. Ronald was upset. By the time he got to the train, it already. Now we know that he was upset, so it happened in the past. It happened in the past, so this is the point when he felt upset. Why was he upset? Because by the time he got to the train station, he discovered something. The train had already left. So the train left, or had left, before he got to the train station. So it had already left. So we have to use the past perfect tense, and the past participle, the verb past participle of leave is left. So the answer for number 11 is Ronald was upset. By the time he got to the train, it had already left. Let's look at question number 12. We have to use be. Mr. and Mrs. Lee busy tonight. Now, when we're talking about something that is happening tonight, it's probably talking about the future. So we have to use the future tense. Mr. and Mrs. Lee will be busy tonight. Or you can use be going to. Mr. and Mrs. Lee are going to be busy tonight. If you're aware of their plans for tonight, then you can choose be going to. So the answer for number 12 is Mr. and Mrs. Lee are going to be busy, or will be busy tonight. Question number 13. 13, write is the word that we have to use. I wrote an email to my grandparents last night because I to them for a few weeks. Now, we know that the sentence is written in the past tense, and it happened last night. So last night, the person did something. He wrote to his grandparents. But why? Because he hadn't written to them for a few weeks. Because before this, he hadn't written for them for a few weeks. So things that happened before last night, we have to use the past perfect tense. So the answer is I had, negative, hadn't, written, remember double T, to them for a few weeks. That's why he wrote to them last night. So the answer for number 13 is I wrote an email to my grandparents last night because I hadn't written to them for a few weeks. Number 14, break is the word. Rob broke his arm while he was playing volleyball. Now, there's a key word in the sentence, while. That's a conjunction that we use to join two sentences, and usually we use while with the longer one, with the longer action, which is a sentence written in the continuous tenses. Past continuous tense in this case. You can see that past continuous tense. So you know this must be the shorter action compared to this action over here. We have to write this in past tense. So Robert broke his arm while he was playing volleyball. We can draw a timeline over here. This is what happened. So this is yesterday or a point in the past. Robert was playing volleyball. This is playing volleyball. And something happened all of a sudden. He broke his arm. Probably he fell or something. So he broke his arm. So we know that they happened almost at the same time while he was doing something, and something happened. That's why we use while. And this is past continuous, past tense. So the answer for number 14 is Robert broke his arm while he was playing volleyball. Number 15, train. I was disappointed they canceled the marathon last week. I for it since last summer. So, you see, disappointed, past tense, it happened. And then last week, that's the time they canceled the marathon. The person was disappointed because they canceled the marathon last week. Why was he disappointed? Because before that, in order to be able to join the marathon, he had practiced, trained himself for it since last summer. So since last summer, he had been training himself for the marathon. Okay, so it happened like this. We have to use the past perfect tense or the past perfect continuous tense. So we can say that I had trained, past perfect, or I had been training, because it's about duration. So the answer for 15 is I was disappointed they canceled the marathon last week. I had trained, or I had been training for it since last summer. Number 16, have is the verb. Patty had pizza for lunch yesterday. She pizza in a long time. Now we know it happened yesterday, past tense. So this is now. This is yesterday. And Patty had some pizza for lunch. She was happy because before this, she hadn't had pizza in a long time. So we know that we have to use the past perfect tense, and also we have to use the negative form. Hadn't. Had. This is the helping verb that we need for the past perfect, and this is the actual verb. Okay, so remember, hadn't had. So the answer of number 16 is Patty had pizza for lunch yesterday. She hadn't had pizza in a long time. Alright, number 17. I laundry at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Do is the verb. It's easy. Time marker at the end. Tomorrow morning is talking about the future. So we have to use the future tense. I will do, or I am going to do if you're talking about a plan. They're both okay. So I will do, or I'm going to do laundry at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Number 18, dance is the word. Now Oliver Jones is an excellent dancer. He beautifully. Simple tense. Oliver Jones is an excellent dancer. That's a truth. And he beautifully. For this, it's a statement of something true. It's a statement of fact. And for facts and habits, we have to use the present simple. Like the sun is bright and the moon shows up at night, or something like that. For facts and habits, we have to use the present simple. So present simple for this sentence. He danced, but you see, he is a third person singular pronoun with an S. So the answer is Oliver Jones is an excellent dancer. He dances beautifully. Because that's true. Number 19. Take is the verb. My husband and I took a walk after dinner last night. We as walk after dinner in a long time. Now, my husband and I took a walk after dinner last night. We know it happened in the past, so this is last night when they took a walk. And then we cross this as out. A walk should be a walk, not as walk. So just like the previous ones, it happened before they took a walk. So we have to use the past perfect tense, and also we have to choose to use the negative sentence, write in a negative form. We hadn't taken a walk after dinner in a long time. So the answer of 19 is, my husband and I took a walk after dinner last night. We hadn't taken a walk after dinner in a long time. Number 20. Argue is the verb. Jane and John broke up last night. They with each other for the past several weeks. Now look, it happened last night, so it's also in the past, and they broke up. This is the point when they broke up with each other. And before this, they had been fighting seriously. So that's the reason why they broke up last night. So we know we have to use the past perfect tense. They had argued, or of course, it's about duration, as you can see, for the past several weeks. We can also choose to use the past perfect continuous. Had been, oh sorry, this is wrong. Had argued should be like this. D, had been arguing. So the answer is, Jane and John broke up last night. They had argued, or they had been arguing with each other for the past several weeks. 21. I ate a big piece of chocolate cake last night and felt terrible about it. I to them for a few weeks. Now, eat is the verb that we have to use, and look, past tense, and it happened last night and he felt terrible. So this is now. This is the point where when he ate the piece of big chocolate cake. So he ate the cake and felt terrible because before this he hadn't eaten them for a few weeks. So we have to use the past perfect tense, cross out to. So I hadn't eaten them for a few weeks. So the answer is, I ate a big piece of chocolate cake last night and felt terrible about it. I hadn't eaten them for a few weeks. Question number 22. Go. My parents went back to their hometown last month. They back there for 20 years. Okay, similar. Now, so past tense, last month. This is last month when they went back to their hometown. And before this, before last month, they hadn't gone back there for 20 years. So we have to use the past perfect tense to talk about this. So they hadn't gone back there for 20 years. So the answer is, my parents went back to their hometown last month. They hadn't gone back there for 20 years. This is the end of page 2.